Welcome to Technical Training Level 1 for the MR-401 Fire Alarm Control Panel. This section will provide a foundational understanding of the panel's hardware components and systems operation. Our objectives for this section are to understand the panel components from both external and internal perspectives and provide more detail on compatible annunciators with the MR-401 system. The MR-401 features 3 window spaces, one dedicated to the main display and 2 additional spaces for display adders. The main display can be installed in any of these 3 windows, but is mounted in the top window when used in conjunction with the optional display adders. 12 or 18 amp-hour batteries can fit into the back box of the MR-401. On the MR-401 panel main display, we have the AC on, CPU fault, ground fault, and battery charger trouble indicators located at the top. Below, there are status cues with selector switches and LEDs for alarm, supervisory, trouble, and building status indication. There are 8 common control switches, each accompanied by an LED. The main interface includes a 4-line, 20-character backlit alphanumeric LCD display. Below the display, there is a 16-button numeric keypad with cursor buttons for navigation, and also dedicated buttons for Cancel, Menu, Info, and Enter for user interactions. The MR-401 panel allows for the installation of up to 2 display adders for enhanced annunciation and control capabilities. The RAX 1048 TZDS is equipped with 48 LEDs. These can be configured to annunciate statuses from input devices, output devices, such as relays or NACs and bypass groups. Additionally, the IPS 2424DS is a 24-button switch display adder that can be set up to operate bypass groups. This diagram displays the internal components of the MR-401 panel. We have the MR-401 main board, which serves as the control center for the panel. Below the main board is the ALC480 dual-loop adder, which expands the system's capacity. The PR300 polarity reversal and city tie module is positioned underneath. If used, it's noted that the PCS100 mounts in the same location as the PR300, but only one or the other can be used. In the upper right, we find the transformer and the AC power barrier terminal block. Adjacent to these components is the rectifier bridge for converting AC to DC power. Finally, we see the power supply board location, providing the necessary power distribution for the system. The panel ships complete with no additional assembly except add-on module options shown below the main board. The main board features connectors and jumpers. A reference index is shown on the right. Pay attention to jumper settings, as incorrect configurations can affect panel operation. The installation manual has this information and should be referred to for proper configurations. Of note, however, is jumper JW1 next to the USB port P13 that must be on to allow the panel to be connected and configured by a laptop. To connect addressable field devices to the MR-400's main board using addressable loop wiring, Class B, Class A, and Class X addressable wiring is compatible as shown. Note the importance of enabling Class A supervision in the configuration software when using Class A-style SLC circuits. To connect addressable field devices to the ALC480 board using addressable loop wiring, Class B, Class A, and Class X addressable wiring is compatible as shown. The board provides 2 additional SLC circuits and is mounted below the main board, connected simply with a ribbon cable. Signaling line circuits, SLCs, have specific limits for loop current, resistance, capacitance, and inductance. Twisted unshielded pair is strongly recommended for optimum performance. Capacitance is generally a limiting factor and should be accounted for in the design and layout stages of a system. Addressable loop wiring emphasizes using unshielded twisted pair wire to minimize capacitance. Take into consideration that adding devices introduces additional resistance, and that loop resistance or capacitance measurements are not possible with isolators installed on the circuit. Also remember, not all wire types offer the same quality or performance. This wiring diagram illustrates the notification appliance circuit connections on the MR-401 main board. The main board supports up to 4 NACs, each capable of being wired as Class A or Class B. To supervise a Class B NAC, an end-of-line resistor is used. For Class A wiring, the configuration is shown on the diagram. Ensure the circuit is looped back to the main board. Each NAC circuit can provide up to 1.5 amps with a combined total of 6 amps if no auxiliary power is utilized. Please note that while only NAC circuit number 1 is displayed in the diagram, circuits 2, 3, and 4 are wired similarly. The MR-401 control panel includes 3 types of auxiliary power supplies. The AUX1 supply is supervised and regulated, offering 24 volts DC at 500 milliamps maximum, suitable for powering remote annunciators. The AUX2 supply is also supervised and regulated, providing 24 volts DC at 300 milliamps and is resettable, making it ideal for 4-wire smoke detectors. Lastly, there is an unsupervised and regulated auxiliary supply offering 24 volts FWR at 1.7 amps maximum. It's important to note that if a short occurs on this circuit, the power will not automatically recover once the short is removed. Power and battery must be disconnected and reconnected to re-establish this auxiliary power circuit. This slide illustrates the connection setup for the remote trouble indicator, RTI, on the main board. An RTI device, when connected, provides a simple remote buzzer signal. This diagram shows the connection setup for the UDAC telephone line dialer on the main board. It demonstrates how to wire the dialer to the public telephone switch and to a premises telephone system, if permitted. The detailed wiring configuration includes the correct placement of tip and ring lines for the RJ31X jack and highlights the designated ports on the main board for these connections. Note that proper wiring is crucial for ensuring the dialer's functionality in communicating alarm signals to monitoring services. For a list of compatible receivers, refer to Appendix A of the installation manual. Common Form C relay contacts on the main board. These contacts are rated for 28 volts DC at a maximum of 1 amp and are non-programmable. The contacts include auxiliary alarm, alarm, supervisory, and trouble. Each relay contact responds to a specific condition in the fire alarm system, facilitating the control or monitoring of various system states. The panel supports several annunciator models, including the RAX LCD Lite, RAM 3500 LCD, along with the RAM 1032 and MGD 32 conventional LED annunciators. These devices connect to the panel via the RS-485 serial link, which operates in a Class B configuration. The system can support up to 7 annunciators, and their configuration is managed through the configuration software. It's essential to match the address dip switch on each annunciator to the corresponding value set in the configuration for proper system recognition and operation. The RAM 3500 LCD shared display annunciator operates identically to the main panel display and includes a local alert buzzer. This buzzer is system-controlled and functions in the same way as the buzzer on the main panel during normal operation. The RS-485 annunciator communication terminal is highlighted on the main board, indicating where the remote annunciator connects. The RAX LCD Lite features a large 4-line, 20-character backlit alphanumeric LCD display. It includes a simple menu system with a directional keypad and switches for Enter, Menu, Cancel, and Info, making it user-friendly. It also contains a local alert buzzer. This buzzer is system-controlled under normal operation and functions similarly to the main panel's buzzer. The RS-485 annunciator communication terminal, indicated on the diagram, is where the annunciator is connected to the main board. This slide provides information on the integration of conventional LED annunciators, specifically the RAM 1032 TZDS and MGD 32. These annunciators feature configurable LEDs for zone status indication and contain a local alert buzzer. The MGD 32 has LED driver outputs, which cater to custom graphic annunciator setups. It provides the same functionality as the RAM 1032 but has input and output terminals for custom connections. Display adders allow for additional display and control and can be connected to system annunciators, up to 4 units. The RAC's 1048 TZDS provides 48 points of LED annunciation. This module can be connected to either the LCD or LED annunciators and can also be integrated directly into the main panel as a display. The IPS 2424DS provides programmable buttons and can be connected similarly. The AGD48 unit supplies supervised outputs for LEDs or incandescent lamps for custom graphic annunciators and can only be connected to LCD or LED annunciators. The panel can manage up to 7 remote annunciators, which must have unique addresses for correct identification and operation within the system. These addresses are set using dip switches on each annunciator, ensuring they match the configuration programmed via the configuration software. Each annunciator is connected to the panel through the RS-485 serial link using twisted shielded wire. The annunciators must be wired in a Class B style circuit, as depicted in the diagram. For this specific circuit, it's essential to use twisted, shielded pair wiring for the serial communication line to ensure signal integrity and reduce electromagnetic interference. Annunciators also require 24 volts DC, which can be connected to the aux power circuit on the main board. The annunciator terminals are shown here. Note the in-out connections for power and communication. The last device on the line requires the termination jumper to be set on the EOL pins. Thanks for watching. Technical Level 2, which is focused on using the configuration software, can be viewed by clicking on the thumbnail link or check the video description below for additional information. For information on the MRI-4000 series addressable devices, click on the thumbnail or the link in the video description.